All right, welcome to another producer breakdown brought to you by Mike J Media. I am your producer, Joshua Meekins, also play Rev in the series. I'm gonna just walk you guys through our thoughts and the producer's thoughts during season 1 of Oldhead, the series. So check us out. All right, we have finally made it to the season finale, season 1 of Oldhead, the series. If you've gotten this far in the series, things have gotten a little hectic. You've met Rev. We've turned left and right on some twists and turns, and we've really had a lot of fun doing these breakdowns. So without further ado, we're going to dive right in. So opening up this episode, we really wanted to get people to know that this joint was going to be a little messy. And what we mean by messy is we have Rosenberg and we have Dudley being approached by Tay. And we all know Tay got his butt kicked by Kareem and his crew a little bit earlier last episode. So, what could he be telling Officer Dudley and Officer Rosenberg? Could he be snitching? Could he just be giving up information? Who knows? But we really wanted the viewers to get dragged in before we, took things to the next level. Right after that, we're met with Rev and LA in Rev's crib. LA's out here trying to just do his honest living, trying to make some money, and he is now being, met with this character who seems to know a little bit too much about what LA's got going on. So just a little bit behind the scenes, like we had a family, I would say a family friend of ours, but a family friend of Tony's, and a close friend of the company. They actually let us use their crib, so we got to kind of like design a little bit to make it like Rev's crib. And this scene was a really dope one. This is my first time sitting down and actually getting to do some lines with Dat in LA, which was a lot of fun. Every scene that I do with him, man, it was dope. And as you see and things progress, him and I do more scenes, whether it's on the phone or in person. We start doing a lot more business together. But I can speak personally for myself when it comes to being Rev. Like, Rev was a little bit more of a step outside of like who I was. I had to really develop that character. I had to think how Rev would think. I had to, kind of be 2 steps ahead of everybody else who was on the cast and on the cast. I got to make sure that I had to kind of feel like I was in control at all times. And if that control switched, how did I gain it back in conversations? And or how did I make sure that I had other people doing what I wanted them to do? So, it's a little bit different character for me, but I really enjoyed playing Rev like a whole lot, especially in this scene, like, giving LA a proposition and seeing like what he would do, trying to make some extra cash. So, it was a nice little sleazy move on Rev's half, but, we gotta see how it turns out. Next, we're gonna be met with Kareem and his crew trying to expand that business. Shout out my boy Brandon Smith, who stepped in as an extra character for us in this. He really did come through and just, showed up and showed out. Brandon's also an amazing artist, so like if you want to go check out his stuff, be easy, check him out. But this was a really cool scene. Like, we got to see God Bless starting to now take over this neighborhood. They got to start moving some weight. They're nervous about it. They wasn't really used to doing something like that, but now they in the mess. So what are they gonna do? This was also, you got to see a little bit of Kareem's like softer side. We found out he had a grandma. We found out what he was doing this person, like doing all this stuff for. He wasn't motivated by nothing. He was motivated by something, and you got to actually, as the viewer, see his motivation. I think that humanizes him a lot. We think I think a lot of people saw him as a protagonist, but he was really kind of like an anti-hero. Like, he wasn't the person who was just also trying to survive, but had to do it a different way. So we got to give a lot of credit to that and that side of the story. That's the whole point of Oldhead. People make different decisions, and you got to see how they end up. And then we go back to Speedy. This time, LA ain't playing that same mess he was playing before. Before he was like, I'm squeaky clean, LA. I'm just trying to make sure I get your crib cleaned. You're crazy, man. You be watching me. You got all this weird stuff going on. But now we get LA, who's really trying to make some things happen. He's reverting back to his old self. But it's not without motivation. I think Rev in this scene really did a good job of not Rev in the scene, but Rev in the story did a good job of giving him, a little bit of sinister motivation to get him going. He had to make a decision. He needed some money for his family, and boom, next thing you know, he's in the shit. But again, Alex in this role, man, Alex did a great job. It's a little bit comedic in the way he's doing it, but it came out perfect. It's really kind of exactly what we wanted this to be. Isn't it crazy how Fred always pops up at the right time, through the series? Like, he always just pops up at the right time. I I mean, for those of you who have seen the season and the series, you know why. But like, maybe we was planting seeds and y'all just didn't know. Like, what? It's just so cool. You know, we gave that some thought. And shout out to the writer, Tony Chenault. Shout out to Face. Face also did some of the writing for season 1 and season 2. So like, it's just, you know, we be thinking. I'm proud of us. We be thinking. This is one of our deeper scenes. Like, there was a lot going on at the time. And we wanted to be able to address that between what it was like for the Black community to discuss what was happening, and then the different approaches that were taken. You have Drew, you have Bump sitting down talking to LA Dap and really having a conversation about, you know, the state of the world. And I think this was a powerful scene. Like, it was really an intimate scene where it was like, you know, how do you go about enacting and creating actual change? Is it hopeless? Is it something that we can or cannot do? And how do you go about it? And how do you become a leader in your community? And how do you do the right thing, even though if you're not being glorified or supported in that manner? How do you continue to push on? And I think we really sparked a lot of discussion with this. I know this is a lot of fans' favorite scenes. We get a lot of comments on this one, and you know, we really wanted to make sure that in this series, we're not only showing you the realities of what is happening in the hood, but at the same time, we're giving you the conversations that are truly happening as well. So I want to spark your mind is also, you know, give you something to watch. Again, another intimate scene with beautiful lighting, amazing lighting. Shout out to the team on that one. But dang, we found out my boy is pregnant. He got a baby on the way. Now he really got to make some decisions, you know. Why don't we ante up the stakes a little bit? Why don't we take things to the next level and just see what happens? You know, as a viewing community, let's just see what happens. We got Rosenberg out here interrogating Munch. This is just like one of those scenes where it's like, okay, he getting closer. You know what I'm saying? He putting 2 and 2 together. And I think one of the cool thing about Munch being like the OG of Seam's crew or Kareem's crew is that you know, he been around the block. He knows what's going on. He knows what can and can't happen. So like, this was kind of a really perfect encounter. But actually, when you look at the scene when we produced it, and we actually did it, it was one of those where, like, you know, I think Rosenberg was a little bit uncomfortable doing something like this. So, you know, what we did is, and I think Lonnie took a big approach on this. He was like, yo, let's make it a physical scene. If it's a physical scene, do what you got to do. Like, we're just acting. None of this is real. We're just acting, and kind of really coached his counterpart through it during the scene, which is really dope to see. And it was, again, that growth that I talked about throughout the other episodes. Like, each character grew throughout the series in their acting ability, and that was just a way that it kind of really encapsulated it in that manner. None of this was shot in order, by the way. I think we shot the episodes in order, but like, every scene that you see was not shot like this scene first, this scene second, this scene third, all out of order. And one of our more infamous scenes, we have Kareem and Caliba running through Blumberg Projects after Tay, who they found out, you know, was owing them money and did some crooked things. But, you know, with that being said, this scene I was not actually there on set for this scene when this scene was shot. But I always remember Tony telling the story how it was really cool. You're in the heart of North Philly, and you have all of these kids. So all the kids that you see as they're running by are like kids who just, you know, stood to watch and wanted to watch us film. So they're running around. Really in the background, just having a good time and just wanting to be a part of something like that. And again, that was one of the things that we always wanted to accomplish with our work, is that we wanted to always constantly inspire others. If you have not seen a camera, to pick up a camera, to say, okay, oh, they're making a movie, you can make a movie too, with everything that we're doing. I mean, even part of these breakdowns to show you that, like, it's all possible. Like, it's not like this is not some far out of reach thing. Everything you do is, you know, it's attainable and possible. But again, we leave you at the end of the season with another cliffhanger as we see Officer Dudley taking out Tay. Wild, absolutely wild. But, you know, that's how we wrap the season, and we go into season 2, which was, you know, a beautiful piece in itself. But you know, that's the end of our producer breakdown for season 1. So if you've been with me this whole time, I appreciate you. I will be doing season 2 as well, so, you know, keep your eyes and ears out for that. And if you have not checked out Oldhead, we are streaming on Fox Soul, Tubi, and YouTube. Check us out. All 3 seasons are there, and you'll hear more about Oldhead the movie very, very soon. Appreciate y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.